Hey, Xiomy here. So today I'm going to give you my February and March wrap up. In the month of February, I couldn't hardly film just because I had so much going on. But right now I'm giving you my wrap up. I didn't get to that many books, but I got to some. The first book that I read for the month of March is Sword and Verse by Kathy McMillan. This book, I devoured it. I loved it so much. It was amazing. I even did a review on this book, a spoiler-free review on this book, because I thought that this book was simply amazing. This is about story about a girl named Riza, and she is a slave, so she lives in this world where you have basically two races. You have the Arnath people and you have the Kalar. Now, the Arnath people are the ones who have been suppressed by the Kalar, and she is, like I said, she is a slave, and one day the tutor in training is killed. The tutor is killed, so she is sent into this election and she is chosen to be the new tutor in training for the future king's son. And this is when her life just picks up and starts taking pace, and there's like this little romance that's brewing between her and the prince, and she goes through so many things, but she also holds the key to setting her people free. And this book is basically about the power of language and how much it affects the people that's around it, and just the power that people will have if you decide just to give them a little bit of language and show them how language is supposed to be treated. And everybody's supposed to know about language and to be educated. And I really did love this book, and the power and the struggle through one girl's eyes, because everything is told in the point of view of one girl, and this is a young adult fantasy. And I really did enjoy this book. And you have Prince Mati, and he's also an amazing person, but sometimes you think he's a little bit of a douche, but you do know that in the end he's doing everything to protect Riza, because you know these two characters are very important. You also have secondary characters who are very important, who have this amazing plot twist and something that you really do not expect. So Sword and Verse, I gave it, I think it was 5 out of 5 stars, or 4.8 out of 5 stars, just because of some little things some little details that happened. But I really do love this book. It was freaking amazing. The next book that I read is Truth Witch by Susan Denner. This book was freaking amazing. I love this book. The writing was superb. These two girls just go on this magical journey together, and I just freaking loved it. I also did a review on this book because I freaking enjoyed it. It was so amazing. You have Sophia, and she is a truth witch, and you have Isolde, and she's a thread witch, and these two sisters are thread sisters, which basically there's a bond between them that's so powerful between them that they will risk everything and anything to save each other's lives and to help one another. And it's basically that they embark on this magical journey one day when, you know, there's this blood witch who picks up Sophia's scent, and she is a truth witch, and she's basically the only truth witch in a long time. And they just embark on this magical journey where he begins to hunt them down, and they just start running away from him. And it's just a action-packed, very beautiful written story that I freaking loved. And the world that was created by the author was very amazing. I did love it. You do get a map. I do wish that you would have had like a guide to all the witches, because there were so many. I would love for her to come out with, I don't know, like a guide to the witchery of Truth Witch, because it was very amazing. I really did love this book, and you know, everything was simply amazing. And they do hold a secret between them, and they are basically gonna shape the world and make it even better. And it's something that I really did love to enjoy. But I do want to know a little bit more about Isolde. I do want to know a lot more about her and why a lot of people hate her race. But this was a very good book, and I really highly suggest that you read it because it was freaking amazing. I also read Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I have to say that I'm obsessed with Alice in Wonderland. Just I've noticed that I'm not obsessed with the book that much. I mean, I thought that some things were very cool. I mean, we're all mad here, and you know, it has a couple of quotes, and let's not say a lot, but it has a couple of quotes that I really did enjoy. But it's not something that I'm overly obsessed with, just because I thought it had a lot of nonsense in it. But overall, I do love the idea of Alice in Wonderland. And I have to say that I love Disney's retellings more. It's just me, but I really did love certain aspects of Alice in Wonderland, just not the story that much. The next book that I read, and I freaking loved it. I honestly think that I've read such good books these couple of days, and this was Scarlet. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Cinder. I really didn't like Cinder that much, but in this book, oh my god, I love the main protagonist, Scarlet. She was amazing. She's a badass. You just want to love her even more. You can't wait to continue reading more about her. Honestly, there were moments that I had to put this book down, and I was fighting with myself just because I didn't want to put it down, because it was freaking amazing. And you also have introduction of Cinder in this book, and I have to admit that I liked Cinder in this book even more. You also have Thorn. Oh my god, Thorn was just, he was just so funny, and honestly he was an amazing addition to this book. You also have Wolf. Oh my god, you have to love him. I loved him as a character, and I love how, you know, he was given this weakness but also this strength to him. And I honestly loved Wolf, and I couldn't get enough of Wolf either. And I love that Eiko, whichever way you pronounce her name, she was reintroduced. Yay for Eiko. I was so happy for her. Honestly, you get to see more about the prince, but you don't get to read that much about the prince. But I really enjoyed this book, and the ending was superb. I loved it, and it isn't like, you know, Cinder, that you could have guessed certain things. You were like, oh my god. This book was freaking amazing, and this is the second sequel that I read that I've loved and enjoyed, and I honestly cannot wait to continue this series. This was freaking amazing, and I loved it and I enjoyed it. I gave this 5 out of 5 just because I speeded through it. I couldn't put it down, and when I had to put it down, I was so mad at it. But I really enjoyed this book, and it was freaking amazing. I loved it. Scarlet by Marissa Mayer. I honestly freaking enjoyed it. I loved it. I can't say how many times I loved it, because I loved it so much. It was just freaking amazing. The characters were even more amazing, and you got to learn a little bit more about Cinder. But this was an amazing book. Honestly, this was very, very amazing. The next book that I read is Avatar Legacy. I honestly have to admit, this book is very beautiful. If you are a longtime fan of Avatar, I highly suggest that you pick this up. This is basically a collector's edition. It doesn't have any new information, because everything that you read is basically a part of the series. But it was nice to like get you back into that notion and bring you back into that series and make you think about new things and remember old things. And this is basically what that book does. And it does have a lot of pullouts, which is something that I loved. It has postcards. It even has water scrolls, which is something that I thought that was very beautiful. So it has a lot of knickknacks that are very beautiful, and I really did enjoy it. I really loved Toph again. Honestly, I couldn't get enough of her. I wish she would have written a little bit more, just because there isn't that much that's included about her in this book. She just has when she was basically introduced, and a lot of characters are when they were basically introduced, but I really wanted a lot more. But honestly, this book is amazing, you know, just to go back into that notion of, you know, Avatar The Last Airbender, and to get back into that vibe. But it is a very beautiful book, and I think I give this 4 out of 5 stars just because it didn't have anything new. It's just good to, you know, get you back on that memory lane. So I really did like it, and I can't. The cover is just beautiful. The last book that I read is a comic book, and I read Injustice Gods Among Us Year 2. Oh my god, I think I've noticed that I can't read books like this, just because I'm the type of person that loves good guys to win. I don't like bad guys winning. I just can't stand that. And I have to admit that Injustice is letting me down so badly. I mean, I can't. Finally, we get the introduction of the Lantern Corps. Now, one thing I love about DC is the Lantern Corps. I hardly get these moments with comic books that I really want to cry, but I have to admit that this book, it was amazing. Injustice Gods Among Us Year 2 was freaking amazing, and it's getting even better. But I'm so scared of the outcome, because it's just hurting me so badly, as these good guys just turning bad or destroying certain characters. And I was just, honestly, Mogo. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5, but it's getting me sad, honestly. But I do have to admit that I really do like what they're doing with it. It's very dark. That's it. Those are all my books that I read. I don't know if there are any books that you like, or if you think differently from me, then let me know down below if you want to. If not, you don't have to. But I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.